I trust you have rested, my friend. Good. I wish to seal the tower now, but there is something we must do first. Let me summon the others, and hear in full what happened beyond the rift. So the elegant eye that runs in Graha's line does mean that royal blood flows in his veins. I suppose it is not so odd to think his forebears gained it via ancient technology. But who imbued his family with the blood, and for what purpose? Mayhap all this was fate, from discovering the tower to Graha gaining Ane and Doggar's blood. Has Graha said anything? For that matter, where is Graha? And what of Nero?
I'm not sure about our resident historian, but Nero left the tower with me. Where he's vanished to since, I cannot say. But knowing him as I do, I don't believe he'll scheme against us for the time being. Though he is still Nero.
Kenekotine, you say Graha stayed behind at the Crystal Tower. I wonder if he even now prepares to seal the place off.
Master Rammbroes. Master Rammbroes. 'Tis Grahatia, sir. He came into the Crystal Tower, and began ordering researchers out.
What? Why would he do such a thing?
I do not know, sir, but he was quite insistent. He all but bodily forced me out of the gates. I suppose it's possible he told one of the others, but I wasted no time in finding out. I thought it best to hasten here and ask your guidance.
Very well. Let us go and speak with these researchers, and get to the bottom of this queer business. Master Garland, Kenekotine, please come with me. No doubt Graha means to seal off the Crystal Tower, but it worries me that he did not breathe a word of his plan to us.
When the fog is thick, I wouldn't wander too far.
What in the world was Grahatia thinking, demanding we leave the tower? No doubt you want to know why. I wish I knew that myself. Of course, he would tell me nothing. But he will be honest with you, miss, I am certain of it.
Go no further, my friends. The doors will close ere long.
So you are of a mind to seal the tower, Graha? I know time is of the essence, but all I ask is a hint of your plan. Please, come here so we can discuss this.
No. My apologies, but I cannot.
Come, man, what is this nonsense? If aught is amiss, surely we can help.
Not this time, my friend. Just as Ane and Doka fulfilled their destiny, so too must I fulfill mine. My blood has awakened me to this fact. As my father told me, the truth has always lain with Alec. Or, rather, 'twas there the wish I must grant was born. You see, not all the world perished in Xanda's calamity. Survivors stood amidst the ruins of Alec, looking to the Crystal Tower. But it was nowhere to be seen. Yet they hoped its spires would again dominate the land, and prayed that the Crystal Tower would be a beacon of hope to people everywhere. Word of this soon reached the only member of Alec's royalty to outlive the Empire, the Princess Selena. Selena was moved by the people's dearest wish. She used the very best of Alec's technology to give her blood and memories to he whom she trusted most. That man was my forebearer. For millennia, we waited. Alec's art and ingenuity faded. Our royal blood grew thin. But before the last drop could vanish from the realm, the memory of all this returned to me. And now, I must fulfill the wish of the ancients. The tower will shine forth as a new beacon of hope.
Graha, the Crystal Tower's strength poses too great a threat to Eorzea now. We would need technology as advanced as Alec's to use it correctly. As things stand, we barely understand the tower's workings. Hells, we may never fully comprehend them.
'Tis as you say, Sid. We could wait for someone, someday, to reach the same heights as Alec, but by then we will have lost the royal blood and the means to control the tower. But what if I do as Amon did, and put the tower into a deep sleep?
What? You cannot mean that.
I am deadly serious, Sid. The tower may only be used once men rival the Allegans in knowledge. I will slumber within Circus Tower until then, to greet those with the means to open the gates. Then, I will guide them. And thus will the tower shine forth as the beacon of hope it was meant to be. 'Tis the only way to make the wishes of the ancients come true. The future is where my destiny awaits. But yours lies outside of these doors. Go. Create a future where hope reigns, and the tragedies of the past are but memories. No one but you can accomplish such things.
Nothing we say will make you change your mind, will it? Onwards to a brighter future. It won't be easy, of course. But that's exactly why we'll do it.
We'll catch up with Alec, just you wait. We'll cover all that lost ground before you even know it.
Well said, Wedge. It'll only be a few years before we come knocking, Graha. Then you are in for a rude awakening. You shall be witness to Noah's accomplishments. Pray keep alive our successes, and forgive us our failures. And may we meet again, my friend.
The 12 keep you till then, Rammbroes. I look forward to learning of your exploits. And you, Kaneko team, I know history will remember you. No doubt your heroism will be the star by which I chart my course when I awake. Well, now I must rest. Recalling so much has put me in the mood for sleep. Farewell, my friends. I eagerly await a future born of your courage and the ancients' wish.
The crystal tower slumbers again, then. 'Tis too quiet for my taste. Goodbye, Sid. I must put all this at my back. Possibility beckons, and I am bound to follow. A new dawn has come for me.
To an outsider, monitoring the needs of our naturalists and requisitioning the necessary supplies may seem a dreadfully boring charge, but nothing could be further from the truth. My duties require that I stay abreast of each team's activities, which means I am among the first to learn of new discoveries.
When the fog is thick, I wouldn't wander too far.
You have just missed Sid, Kaneko team. There is much that needs his attention if he is to fulfill Graha's wishes, it seems. But this is not the end of Noah, no matter how lonely Saint Connacht's find has become for our friend's departure. We must all walk in different directions now. Remember that we labor for a brighter future, lit by Graha's beacon. Sealing the crystal tower was but the first step. Farewell, my friend. May our paths cross again.
You have completed the Crystal Tower quest series. Rest well, champion, for the main scenario, and many other adventures await you.
I have heard all about your expedition into Eureka Orthos. Or should I say, Archmagus Noah, has been quite eager to share the details with any who would listen. Truth be told, I could scarcely contain my disbelief when that unassuming lass introduced herself as an elegant Archmagus. But in light of the wonders our investigations have unearthed so far, an immortal sorcerer is hardly cause for surprise. So I swallowed my skepticism and decided to help howsoever I am able. Any new knowledge of Allah you uncover can only be a boon, after all. Allow me to find the relevant page.
The Allagan Empire has left behind many a mysterious legacy, but perhaps none so impressive as the glittering spire of the Crystal Tower. With equal parts excitement and trepidation, the survey party dubbed the Fellowship of Noahs set forth to pry loose the daunting structure's well-guarded secrets. Once past the massive crystal gate, the members of the team beheld 4 pairs of grim stone statues flanking a broad forecourt, a lethal complement of elementally powered defenses known as the 8 Sentinels. Each pair of silent sentries promised a different method of obliteration to any foolish enough to attempt trespass. Should intruders somehow survive passing through the first barrier of incinerating flames, they would then face death by rending winds, crushing waves, or grinding rocks. These unforgiving guardians were, without a doubt, a product of the unique blend of magic and technology pioneered by the great inventors of Allag. To think that these constructs of arcane masonry yet functioned after millennia of dormancy is simply staggering, a testament to the genius of their creators. But we would not be deterred from our objectives. Using 4 reflective fangs shaped from flawless crystals, we triumphed in turning the power of the elemental defenses against themselves. With the way thus cleared, the expedition stood poised to enter the inner reaches of the tower grounds.
One moment while I locate the passages in question.
A stalwart band of adventurers, led by the indomitable Kaneko Tankbin, was tasked with conquering the perils of the Labyrinth of the Ancients. The base of the Crystal Tower is nestled within this deadly maze, the entire structure designed to confound entrance to the spire proper. As we had feared, the halls of the Labyrinth were further protected by fantastical foes. Our adventurers faced nightmarish opponents, the King Behemoth and the Void Sent Thanatos among them. Through our research we have learned that the ancients were most skilled at the binding of voidborn entities, occult servants that were compelled to serve alongside augmented beasts and chimerical monstrosities. After battling such fiends, none could argue that the approach to the tower was a simple one. And though the labyrinth's hazards have been overcome, one cannot help but imagine what devilish enemies await within those unbreached crystalline walls.
You wish to learn more of Phlegethan? Certainly. His story is quite compelling.
Phlegethan was the scimitar wielding colossus who served as the final bastion of the labyrinth of the ancients, and until recently, was oft mistaken for a similar guardian known as Icheran. In Phlegethan's day, he was but a mortal man who sought to bring revolution to the Allagan Empire. The empire lasted more than 1,000 years, but that is not to say its reign was entirely peaceful. It was especially during the later days of its supremacy that imperial rule found itself under constant challenge. Famous even among these endless conflicts was the rebellion led by the mighty General Phlegethan. Imperial annals paint him as a murderous villain, but the writings of the common folk reveal Phlegethan's status as a hero of the people. Adored though he was, the revolutionary leader was eventually captured by agents of the Empire. Scholarly records give a chilling account of how his body was forcibly altered through sorcery and science, his mind broken and conditioned to obey. An example was made of Phlegethon, a hideous warning of the fate that awaited those who refused to kneel. When Kaneko gazed upon the general's unnatural form so many centuries later, she was afforded a glimpse into the darkness of which the Empire was capable.
Yes, our noble comrades Ane and Doga. Let us review the events surrounding their appearance.
Having secured a path through the labyrinth of the ancients, the Fellowship of Noah next sought to explore Circus Tower. However, their progress was frustrated by the most mundane of security measures, a gate that refused to open. Impervious to all damage, the imposing gate was sealed by a mechanism whose workings confounded even the Fellowship's brightest minds. As they struggled in vain to solve the puzzle, two mysterious strangers, a man and a woman richly garbed in Allagan fashion, arrived to offer their aid. Doga and Unii were their names, and they later revealed themselves to be clones, identical copies of people, created thousands of years ago as part of an experiment to resurrect Zandi, the founding father of the Allagan Empire. The individuals from whom they derived their existence were of Zandi's lineage. Likewise named Doga and Unii, the pair were said to share myriad distinct traits with their revered forebear. Among these traits were eyes of sanguine, known as the Royal Eye. In addition to being royalty, they were skilled mags in their own right. Doga could wield powerful spells both extant and lost, while Unii possessed the rare ability to manipulate dreams. When Emperor Zandi returned from the grave, they initially supported his second ascension. However, it soon came to light that the Emperor was consorting with darkness. Fearing what might befall the world, they sought to put an end to his madness. In the event that they should fail, they left the key by which future generations may carry on their mission. That key is none other than the two clones who came to Noah, in whom they imbued their wool. By virtue of the royal blood that courses through their veins, they were able to open the gate that had barred the Fellowship's entry into Circus Tower.
Let us turn to the pages which speak of Emperor Xande.
No account of Allagan history may be considered complete without mention of its founding father, and first emperor, Zandi. Ancient records that have survived paint the man as a great ruler. By his hand the Allagan Empire was born, and for more than 1,000 years it flourished. However, the empire's star eventually began to wane. The self-same prosperity that made the Allagans great gave rise to decadence. The citizens grew content in their complacency, and technological advance ground to a halt. In a matter of generations, the civilization became a pale shadow of its former self. Lamenting the pitiful state of affairs, the technologist Amorn sought to restore Allag to greatness via an unprecedented method, the resurrection of Emperor Zandi. Amorn exhumed Zandi's body from his tomb, situated in what is now known as Mor Dhona, and proceeded to conduct numerous experiments. With equal parts perseverance and ingenuity, he succeeded in bringing the Emperor back to life. So began Emperor Zandi's second reign, 1,000 years removed from his first. Through masterful leadership, he swiftly brought his ailing empire back to the path of greatness. Even the southern land of Merasidia, which had long defied Allag, was finally brought to heel. Zandi was a great emperor, it cannot be denied, and ancient records rightly speak of him in reverent tones. However, those self-same records are silent on the subject of the man's inner workings. It has recently been revealed that, ever since returning from the grave, Emperor Zandi was constantly tormented by the memories of his death. Driven by reasoning that no mind but his own may comprehend, he sought to return all to nothingness. Whatever may have compelled it, Zandi made his choice, and its consequences have been passed down through the annals of history. a lust for power which grew into a desire for finality. Such was the dark seed that brought about the fourth umbral calamity. By Zandi's hand the Allagan Empire was built, and by his own hand it was destroyed.
You wish to learn more about Circus Tower? Very well, let us review such data as we have on hand.
The Crystal Tower is comprised of a multitude of spires. Rising high above them all is Circus Tower, the heart of the majestic structure. It must be noted that the name Crystal Tower originated as a sobriquet. Ordinary Allagans coined the term, which over time came to refer to the collective structure. Although the tower is referenced in various ancient scriptures, up until the end of the 6th Astral Era, the scholarly community largely doubted its existence. Aside from Professor Eric, it had scant few proponents. How is it possible that such a colossal structure could be kept hidden from mankind, and for so long? The answer was to be found amidst the ruins of the fourth umbral calamity, which took the form of a great earthquake. During the final years of the Allagan Empire, the lesser moon Dalamut harvested the sun's energy, which it then transferred to Circus Tower below. However, that energy proved too much for the tower to contain. It escaped into the land, causing the earth to collapse into itself. In mere moments, the Allagan Empire was laid to waste. Yet even as the Crystal Tower was sinking, Emperor Zandi's most trusted aide, the technologist Amorn, invoked powerful magics, and halted the flow of time within the structure. The tower and its denizens fell into a deep slumber. 3 eras later, when Dalamud began its descent, the Crystal Tower stirred to wakefulness. Shortly thereafter, the cataclysmic arrival of the 7th Umbral Era saw the tower returned to the surface. The Fellowship of Noah ventured into the Crystal Tower, its first visitors in millennia. Awaiting them at the apex was Emperor Zandi, the legendary founder of the Allagan Empire, who had awakened alongside his minions.
Let me see what I can find.
The world of darkness is an otherworld thought to lie adjacent to our physical realm, in other words, what we often call the void. The Fellowship of Noah came upon the world of darkness several times, but only once did it venture inside. The future of the very realm was in jeopardy, and thus was a band of adventurers dispatched to rescue 3 comrades imprisoned amongst the shadows. How are such things possible, when wise men hold that the world is the world, the void is the void, and never the twain shall meet? It would seem abnormal events can weaken the veil between worlds, and tear them asunder. When such rifts appear, men can walk between realms. The mags of Allag could create rifts at will. Dubbing them voidgates, they used them not only to enter the void, but also to harness the dark powers therein, the void sent. The void sent, however, make ill allies. The fiends have a depraved appetite, and seek this world merely to sup upon the ether it contains. Were they ever to enter our realm in force, destruction beyond imagining would follow. Therefore, any and all dealings with the void sent are now seen as forbidden. Even the Thaumaturgers Guild, devoted to studying the void, conduct research on a limited scale under strictly enforced regulations.
I thought I had a few pages devoted to the cloud of darkness. Here they are.
Within the void, chaos reigns supreme. Strength is the sole measure of order amongst the void sent, he who rules is he who claws his way upwards, and tramples all beneath. Scholars who study the void sent have long striven to categorize the fiends by brawn rather than species. The result is popularly known as the 12-tid void sent hierarchy. The void sent known as the Cloud of Darkness is doubtless in the highest tier of this hierarchy, hence why Emperor Zandi entered into a dark covenant with it. In both strength and size, the cloud is unmatched. A voidgate of monumental proportions would be necessary for it to enter our realm. Opening such a rift would, in turn, require a power as massive. Enter, then, the Crystal Tower, and the energy it could produce. Were the cloud of darkness to break loose, it would devour all ether, and extinguish all light. The world would become as the void. Indeed, all would have been lost were it not for the actions of valiant adventurers, and the sacrifice of 2 Allagan clones, who annulled Xandi's dark covenant.
Now, where were the passages pertaining to? Here we are.
Grahatia, Noah's historian, gained the right to control the Crystal Tower thanks to a gift of royal Allagan blood from Unii and Doga. To ensure the tower would become a beacon of hope in the future, Graha willed his power to put the tower's inhabitants, he himself included, into a deep sleep. Thus was Alleg's lost glory, and the threat it posed the realm, sealed again. What was the reasoning behind Grahatia's choice? To comprehend this requires knowledge of forgotten Allagan history. Although the Crystal Tower fell on the day of the 4th umbral calamity, many Allagans survived the destruction. To them, the place had been a shining beacon. They thus prayed that one day, in the far future, it could bring light and joy to the common folk. Their heartfelt pleas reached the last remaining princess of Alleg. She took it upon herself to see their prayers realized, and entrusted her blood to her most trusted aid. Ages passed, and time consumed all living memory of these events. The blood grew thin, and all the tears of that age were forgotten. Yet belief in a greater destiny was passed down the bloodline of the Princess Aid. So it was that the hopes and dreams of myriad Allagans did survive and find new life in this age. This concludes Noah's investigation of the Crystal Tower for the present. However, we have vowed to carry the wishes of the ancients with us, and build a brighter future for the sake of our own descendants.
Very good, I have it right here. Lest you wonder, it appeared under some crates while I was cleaning up a tent. Gods know how it came to be in such a place. Judging by the contents, it was originally the final page of the report which Grahatia penned on our foray into the labyrinth of the ancients. Said report has long since been dispatched to the motherland, but it would seem our friend chose to omit this page in the end. As to his reason, well, let us touch upon that afterwards.
This concludes the report on our foray into the labyrinth of the ancients. In closing, it must be noted that the brevity of the adventurers' combat records is due to the fact that I was not permitted to accompany them, thus rendering me unable to provide a detailed account. The inability to observe, it scarcely requires mentioning, defeats my purpose as an observer. As a sanctioned representative of the students of Baldessian, it is imperative that I am present to witness the adventurers' efforts to overcome the structure's defenses. Therefore, beginning with the impending investigation of Siurka's Tower, I shall insist that, for all subsequent forays, I am granted a place amongst the adventurers in the van.
Alas, when the investigation resumed, matters soon took a troubling turn with the revelation that Emperor Xande not only lived still, but was determined to see his dark covenant consummated. With so much at stake, and the mystery of his eye further weighing upon his mind, I dare say Grahatia felt it best to set aside personal desires. Thus did he choose to hold his peace and remove this page from the report. Were he still slumbering within the tower, its existence would have filled me with sorrow, a bitter reminder of one man's unfulfilled dream. But now, it is all I can do to contain my joy. It shall be a pleasure to share this discovery with our friend.